So our next stop is Kansas City, and we're headed to Boulevard Brewery.
What?
Brewery. I said it. You say it.
I can't. Does that hurt though? Oh, Allison, that's the St. Louis Arch. That's the arch. The arch is on our right.
I see it.
Yeah, the St. Louis Arch is on the right. I think we're in St. Louis.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, we're trying to get to Kansas City, Missouri.
And we did make it to Kansas City, and boy, were we excited. We were also excited to visit with Jen, our tour manager, and Kansas City happens to be her hometown, so she showed us all the most beautiful spots, and she showed us where they brew the beer. That's right, Boulevard.
Yep, we hopped right over to it. What kind of beer would you meet in a forest?
Give me a hint.
Lumberjack.
A woodsy beer.
A lager.
Oh, dang.
Don't ever try to write dad jokes on the fly. It doesn't work.
Or on the rye. Isn't that a beer? It's not?
Whiskey.
Oh, dang. Man, I was so sure. I was waiting even before this all started. Right after you said hop, I was like, I got to find a place to put in rye.
If you're going to go to Kansas City, you definitely have to go to Boulevard Brewery, even if you are a Scotch drinker like me or
a wine drinker like me. So we did get to visit Boulevard back in October of 2020 when businesses were really still figuring out how to survive during the beginning of this pandemic. We were able to talk to Adam and Annie and Kaylee about how they were keeping the Boulevard alive and going strong, and in a safe way, which we even got to help keep people safe.
97.1. 96.4.
Let's talk about how we got here real quick. Can we do that? Can we talk about the history? Let's talk about the history real quick. So 6,000 years ago, you didn't think I was going to go that far back?
Let me check the memory card. Make sure we have enough. Okay, yes, we're good.
All right, I think we can only do 4,000.
Okay, so I won't. Let's go 4,000. So
62 minutes.
How about this? Humans have been drinking beer for 6,000 years. A lot of people don't know that. It's been around. It's the birth of agriculture. One of our ancestors left like a clay pot out with grains in it, and then that pot filled up with water, and then they went and came back later. And what happened is there's yeast in our atmosphere all the time. There's yeast in this room right now. It's always around.
I hate that word.
Atmosphere?
You hear it? So there's good yeast and there's bad yeast, and it's the most studied yeast ever. We're talking good yeast. And the wild part of that story is that one of our ancestors had to come by and see it and go, I'm going to drink that, and they drank it.
Toast to whoever it was, got on their hands and knees, drank some dirty hole water, and got the first buzz. So cheers to whoever that was. Cheers to dirty hole water. Cheers to dirty hole water.
And so some of the earliest engravings are an inventory of stuff that you would use to make wine and beer. It's been, every major civilization on earth is built around booze.
I have been motivated by alcohol for a really long time, but I did not know that all of civilization was.
Yeah, and I've also learned more in the past 5 minutes with you about our history than I did probably in 4 years of high school.
It's going to get better.
Not much of a legal drinking age back then, so everybody was getting pretty turned all the time. Sounds pretty fun. Also sounds like a bit of a mess. And of course, anytime anybody's throwing an out of control party, someone else has to come in and shut it down. Yep, that's the government in this case. The thing is called prohibition. Boo. Boo. Oh, thank you. Yes.
Then we get into the 60s. So around that time is when our founder, John McDonald, he was born and raised in north central Kansas, and he went to KU, University of KU nearby, and he graduated with a fine arts degree, right? So, on one hand, he's got a fine arts degree, but on the other hand, he's got bills. So he's got to find a way to pay them. So he moved to Kansas City, and he became a carpenter for hire.
Sorry, it's literally, you've struck a chord.
Oh, did I hit a nerve there?
Or a trigger, depending on.
So John's doing this home brewing thing, and all of John's friends are drinking up this pale ale, and they're saying, hey man, this is really dang good. We think that you need to share this with the rest of Kansas City.
When John started, there was maybe a couple hundred breweries in the United States at that time in '89, and now there's 8,000.
And we really wanted to create another space that didn't just feel like another beer hall. So if you've had a chance to walk around the building at all, you'll notice there's no TVs. We'd like to keep kind of a lo-fi vibe here, no electronics. We want people to sit down and talk with a beer, not sit down and scroll with a beer. So this space allowed us to kind of play up on more of that and add another lo-fi aspect that's more interactive, like the shuffleboard. We have the tabletop and the floor courts, so it allowed us to utilize this space a little differently, but still have that boulevard feel that the rest of our space has.
So the brewing community really kind of boomed, and we were happy that we were ahead of that. Kansas City really embraced Boulevard and made us what we are today.
And now it's time for the top 10 facts about Kansas City that you never knew, unless you lived there, in which case you probably knew. But if you didn't live there, you don't know. And now that you know, you don't care that you know, but you might know. I mean, you never know, right?
Number 1, Kansas City has more barbecue restaurants per capita than any other U.S. city.
Whoa.
They actually have like a barbecue society, and guess how many members are in the barbecue society?
10,000.
Oh, a little less.
9,000.
A little less.
8,000.
Yes, 8,000. And guess how many barbecue restaurants that they have?
8,000.
Much less than that.
200.
Okay, I actually don't have an exact number.
What is this game?
All it says is more than 100.
So 8,000.
It could be.
There is a Fogo de Chao restaurant right now in Kansas City that is the site where Charlie Parker had his first paying gig at the Country Club Plaza. It was a club called Martin's. So some jazz history out of Kansas City.
That's cool.
We don't know who Charlie Parker is.
I have no idea.
Both of you who got that, tweet me.
Possum Trot and Rabbitville were early name suggestions for the city.
Everyone in Kansas City, you should be really, really grateful that you don't have to sing the song. Possum trot, here I come. I'm gonna get me some.
Yeah.
The famous novel A Farewell to Arms by Ernest Hemingway was finished in Kansas City. Allison, how amazing is that?
That is so cool. Here's what I got. The Happy Meal was The Happy Meal was invented in Kansas City. Whew.
The Community Christian Church at 46th and Main Street was designed by Frank Lloyd Wright, the famous architect that we all know and love, right, Allison?
Yes. Number 7, Kansas City is only a 3-hour flight from either coast.
Whoa! Kansas City is also an important part of baseball history because before the Brooklyn Dodgers signed Jackie Robinson as the first African-American major leaguer, he was a part of the Negro League's Kansas City Monarchs.
Ooh.
So a little enrichment too, Allison.
Okay, and I'm gonna stay in the sports theme.
Okay.
The scoreboard at the Arrowhead Stadium was the first to transmit instant replay?
Ooh.
Last one.
In 2009, there was a really tragic statistic in Kansas City. The Kansas City International Airport reported the highest number of wildlife strikes of any U.S. airport. 57 out of 100,000 Canada geese versus a Frontier Airlines Airbus.
This is what you chose to end on?
Well, the geese. I need to find another fact. Because to me, it was kind of funny. It was like geese. But you're right, it's actually not funny.
We would like to take this time to remind our viewers that we believe all life is precious, and that includes geese.
Well, that's a wrap on Kansas City. If you ever go to Kansas City, whether it's Missouri or Kansas, you've got to go to Boulevard Brewery. Brewery. Boulevard Brewery. Boulevard Brewery.
That was close. Boulevard Brewery.
Boulevard Brewery.
Boulevard Brewery.
And special thanks to Boulevard
Brewery.
Because here in the beer hall, we can always say, "Oh, this is a test beer." If no one likes it, and then we dump it. You know what I mean? Like, this is never going to leave the brewery.
That's what we should do with this show.
But it's really good.
It's a test show.
It's a test show.
It's a test show.
Because you don't have to like it. It's just a test.
It's just a test show. You're
It's just
lucky
a
you
test.
get to try it.
Yeah.
You're in the know.
You're in the know.
VIP.